What will it be like when long legs and short brains become spies? Please continue watching the content of today's movie. The two main characters, Otter and Morgan, are in their teens, but still have to celebrate their birthday alone. Otter couldn't avoid being mocked by other friend. Before, she used to have a boyfriend with both looks and career. It was said that he was a reporter or some kind of crazy job at a television station. But for some unknown reason, the two broke up a few days ago because they were too bitter. So her planned to go home and burn all her boyfriend belongings, but she didn't know what his true identity was: a special agent. He currently working. The mission was too much to live for, but she also called and threatened her if we didn't meet, stating that she would destroy all the furniture in her boyfriend's house, because she was in such a hurry. She could only beg her that no matter what she destroyed, she wouldn't talk the trophy, because it is very important and also affects the lives of many people. The next day when she went to work, Otter was tricked into getting into the car by two strange men. They were CIA agent and questioned her about information about her ex-boyfriend. When did she reveal his true identity? However, he disappeared without leaving any trace, because they couldn't get any more information, so they agreed to release her. Andre returned home with Morgan to attend the wedding. She was about to go look for her boyfriend, but she didn't expect him to show up. At that moment, guns shot continuously, thanks to her boyfriend's diseases. She realized that he was being avenged by a group of criminals. They ran away and found a place to hide. Unfortunately, the female boyfriend he was shot and was afraid that he would die without being able to confront him, so he had to tell her the whole truth. Right now there are many bad guys looking for him and she will be implicated. Because of that, they broke up to keep their distance, to keep her safe before leaving. He gave Otter the owl and asked her to deliver it at 1100 noon tomorrow to a person named Ness who had just finished revealing the address and information when suddenly the naked young man rushed in. Come out and give him a copper candy at the place where Moran quickly ran to knock him off the balcony. Then they ran away before the task force attacked the next day. The two long-legged girls arrived at the meeting point as planned. Bewildered, when Otter met, he suddenly pulled out a gun and threatened her, demanding that she deliver the goods to before it was too late. Morgan went into the bathrooms and saw the waitress named Vess knew that the blonde guy outside was not the person they needed to meet, so quickly went out to warn Otter to stop her from handing over the USB, because the distance was too far, so Morgan had to shout loudly. The result was that the wire was broken, causing a shooting. The restaurant staff also quickly joined the fight instead, because holding a cup, each person had a gun in their hands and shot the whole restaurant, causing the customers to run away. At this time, he also picked up the gun and tried to shoot a few times. Unfortunately, shooting for fun and killing people was so panicking, so the two looked for a place to hide in the chaos. They accidentally let the bad guy steal the suitcase, but luckily the USB was in their possession, so they immediately ran away and left the restaurant. They saw the car parked on the side of the road that they borrowed, but she didn't know how to drive, so she crashed into someone else's newspapers and had to run away to find the next person. They took a taxi to take her around the city and saw an assassin chasing her. Asked the driver to cut off the killer tail and would pay him handsomely, fearing that the driver would be pressured with the above request, but unfortunately he was extremely excited to step on the accelerator and accelerate to racing at lightning speed, excitedly showing off his new toy. After finishing it, I was still filled with fear. It's just an illusion. Illusionary life put me in a crazy driving frenzy with the feeling of speeding. I was about to give a high five to celebrate with Otter, but an assassin assassinated me. The driverless car was like a snake. Losing her head, Otter had to take over the wheel to act as a swing drive like an ostrich racing with an assassin. When she discovered that her opponent was lying on the roof of the car, she immediately came up with a plan to increase the speed to full speed and then suddenly apply the brakes and knock her out. He went down the street and was crushed by a truck, after escaping that extremely failed assassination attempt. The two broke the trophy and discovered a USB drive containing data inside. They also become a famous wanted figure, fried all over the country because they could no longer live in their homeland. The two decided to leave to find a way to save the country and go to another country to take refuge with Morgan acquaintance. At this time, criminal gangs also began to signal to chase the plane. The USB through the image identified both girls who were targeted by the assassin group to the house of the doctor who examined Morgan. They were happy to be warmly welcomed. But when Otter went to the bathroom, they discovered now the doctor is actually a corpse lying in the bathtub. The man outside is actually a member of his criminal organization. He started to molest Morgan and colluded with another female assassin to inject Morgan with anesthesia and locked her in the bathroom while the enemy was away. Otter tried to put the USB in her mouth to swallow it, but no matter how hard she tried, she still couldn't swallow it. After trying 7,749 times, she decided to let the USB slide down toilet, so when both of them were taken to be slaughtered, the assassin couldn't find the USB on them. They believed they threw it down the toilet at the doctor house. The two elderly assassins immediately abandoned the grave to shoot, returned to find the USB, leaving only the female disciple to guard the hostage and torture them to reveal the truth. The two female leads, afraid of being punished, honestly declared that one had a venereal disease. and the other was being stalked, tomorrow, because he forgot to use 3 wolves during mating. Not long after, an agent of the International Intelligence Office, Sebastian, appeared. He shot alone with the group of assassin. Even if he was injured, he had to sacrifice his life to save the wolf. As soon as news got out of the grave, the International Intelligence team invited all 3 to report on the situation. Due to the recent rescue operation, Sebastian acted on his own and was seriously injured, so his superiors decided to suspend him for a few months. At this time, the girl was also asked to escort her back to her hometown of Longen. Morgan expressed that she had been a spy for a few days, so she wanted to continue working, but because Otter was tired and wanted to stop, Morgan had to agree to the second day. She got in the car and was escorted by Sebastian back to her hometown. Once again, the 3 of them voluntarily coordinated with each other. At this point, they took out the USB to see. It turned out that Otter had never dropped it into the toilet, but now they want to open the USB. Then you also need a password. Sebastian is not qualified enough to hack it because this USB uses Start Department encryption created by the government, and only medical experts from the US Department of Intelligence can save it. Listening to this, Morgan's number suddenly jumped in her head. She borrowed a neighbor's phone, called her ex-boyfriend, the person she dumped 3 years ago. He was a medical expert of national stature. He quickly helped them, hacked the USB password. Sebastian discovered that it contained secret financial data of major investors around the world. The people who wanted to own this USB were all oligarchs who traded weapons for blackmail. That night, the news continued to spread about Otter and Morgan. Now the FBI has hacked their Facebook and confirmed that they had discussed plans to kill the doctor via text message. It seems like this fan could have run away, but it would be difficult to avoid it. There was a misunderstanding, so the 3 boarded a ship preparing to depart, but Sebastian's colleagues attacked and arrested Otter and asked them to hand over the USB. He was panicking because he didn't know how to handle it. The robber appeared. A guy in the next room rushed in and made him unconscious. All 3 of them brought the agent to the dock and then pondered how he found them. It turned out that as soon as they boarded the ship, Morgan called. She called home to tell her father that she was safe, so they were able to find out her location and come here to quickly take the agent phone, use his fingerprints to unlock it and check tomorrow messages. He had an appointment with someone to buy back the USB. Surely, as he got there, he would know who the mastermind behind this case was. Andre cut off the thumb of the agent who carried it with him in case he needed to open it. Fingerprints lock the phone and then throw the body into the river. This process seems complicated because they can change the fingerprints passwords. That's why they named them long legs and short brains. When they arrived in Berlin, they investigated the list. A VIP guest was invited to the museums of technology and then conspired to pick up 2 guests at the airport and board a taxi to set up a robbery scene right on the bus to kidnap the guests. From there, the 2 girls quickly disguised themselves as 2 VIP guests to attend the exhibition, where Otter received message from the person who bought the USB from the agent phone. She twisted the lipstick and used his finger to unlock it and read the message, only to see that the meeting location had been changed. Another room. She quickly went there, but unexpectedly, the person who arranged to meet her was her ex-boyfriend with sweet words. He blamed all the blame on Sebastian. She convinced her that Sebastian was the mastermind who wanted to kill him. The gunman then took advantage of her to force him to appear in order to rob USB outside. Morgan confronted the female assassin right on the performance stage, swinging the 2 actresses in the air, making audience restless. After finishing with her opponent for a while, she used a rope to hang her. Thanks to her previous participations in the Red Vest Club, she quickly resisted and kicked her opponent, causing the female assassin to fall onto a sharp stake that was emerging from the earth. Again, she somersaulted a few times and landed safely in the middle of the stage, receiving victory and loud applause from the audience. At this time, she called Otter but got no answer. Morgan was extremely worried and ran to look for her het friend everywhere. Unexpectedly, on the other side, Otter was having fun with his potato. Suddenly, a new potato and 2 other agents rushed in. Otter's ex-boyfriend, still boldly blaming the rival, suddenly pulled out a gun and shot each other. Sebastian's team then shot their love rival. With just 1 bullet, Andre realized that something was wrong, so she pretended to scared to hug her boyfriend tightly, with the goal of using the gun cable to protect herself. Because his true face was discovered, he didn't need to act anymore and immediately rushed into fight, grabbing the gun in Otter's hand. Luckily Morgan appeared in time and used a stone to throw at his head to help Andre escape from the bad guy hands. Had the chance, but Andre did not shoot at her boyfriend. Instead, she let go of the gun and surrendered because the police force rushed in. They quickly arrested her boyfriend for treason. Sebastian had a bulletproof vest, so he kept it. She saved life from that moment on. Otter let her ex-boyfriend go to prison to play with cricket, and she stayed outside with a new potato. They became a couple and distributed food to dogs. Thanks to solving a big case, Sebastian was also reincarnated, working as an intelligence agent again. The content of today's movie ends here. The lesson learned is to be kind to your ex-lover. No matter how long or short her legs are, a woman beauty is still a weapon of some sort. Can make men either go crazy or go crazy. Thank you all for watching the channel. See you all in the next video.